All right. So we are looking through Sri Nisargadatta's Maharaj's book, uh, I Am That.
Maharaj, would you mute us?
Yes, Ma. Just a moment. Here you go. The big, grand, universal shut up. And of course, you can unmute for any reason at any time. This is just more or less to keep your telephones quiet. But so jumping in on Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj's, I'm loving the titles of his chapters. Uh, there, this one today, Life is the Supreme Guru. And this falls right in line with an idea that I really enjoy, and that is that this moment is scripture, that this world is the manifestation of scripture. And that when we're realized, what happens is we finally have found the place and the means from which that scripture of living can be read. We become the rishis, we become the writers of scripture, we become the performers of scripture, we become parables. Our very lives become parables as we become holy and natural. I call it holy is certainly natural, but in our natural state, where our life individually, our lives are in fact parables of truth. And we become stories, living stories, in the scripture of the moment, the scripture of being, and that this scripture of being can only be read through an objective presence, a lack of interest in particulars, and an eye of clarity that's fully present in the moment. And then we see the world as it is, which is the song of God, the Bhagavad Gita. And so life really takes on a very different characteristic. And thankfully for all of us, we at least get little hints and tastes and teases of this along the way, as Mother purposely drops things for us to pick up on the way. So life is the supreme guru. The questioner, we too, TWO, came from far off countries. One of us is British and the other is American. The world in which we were born is falling apart, and being young, we are concerned. The old people hope they will die their own death, but the young have no such hope.
Well, that's pretty gloomy, isn't it?
Well, I like it for two reasons. This is the pride of youth right there, that, death is no danger to us. The young have no such hope. Some of us may refuse to kill, but none can refuse to be killed. Can we hope to set the world right within our lifetime? Oh boy. This is the famous dog's curly tail. Maharaj, what makes you think the world is going to perish? Questioner, the instruments of destruction have become unbelievably potent. Also, our very productivity has become destructive of nature and our cultural and social values. Maharaj, you are talking of the present times. It has been so everywhere and always. But the distressing situation may be temporary and local. Once over, it will be forgotten. Yes, he has great confidence in our unaware living, our deluded living. That sure enough, we go through the suffering. As soon as it's finished, it's forgotten, and we're right back into the things that take us right back in there again. So the scale of the impending catastrophe is unbelievably big. We live in the midst of an explosion. Oh boy. Each man suffers alone, Maharaj says. Each man suffers alone and dies alone. Numbers are irrelevant. There is much death. there is as much death when a million die as when one dies, one perishes. There's an interesting thought. There's as much death when a million die as when one dies. Do you see that? he's tucked a very nice little clue in there. That really there is, well, first of all, there is no death because no one dies. Right? In one sense, no one dies, so there's just as much death when a million die as when one seems to die. Or there's only one who's living, that one self living in all of these bodies. And so when one body drops, it's the same to the self as if a million drop. It's independent. It's one without a second. Anyway, he's taking us to a different perspective, a different vantage point, a bodiless vantage point, taking us to see what does this world look like when it's not observed from a body, when it's not observed from a mind, but when it's observed by the creator, by the self. What does it look like then? Questioner, well, nature kills by the millions, but this does not frighten me. There may be tragedy or mystery in it, but no cruelty. What horrifies me is man-made suffering, destruction and desolation. Nature is magnificent in its doings and undoings, but there is meanness and madness in the acts of man. Boy, that's not true at all. This guy's just lost in his own mind here. Oh my, yeah. Anyway, I see what he's saying. But nature, I mean, take a trip to Pompeii. Nature's not without cruelty in the way that people die, for sure. Nature comes up with some rather ingenious ways to torture a living being out of existence. Okay, so our questioner says nature kills millions, and he's not concerned about that because nature's nice about it. But man is mean and mad in his acts of undoing. Maharaj, right. So it is not suffering and death that are your problem, but the meanness and madness at their root. Is not meanness also a form of madness? And is not madness the misuse of the mind? Humanity's problem lies in its misuse of the mind only. All the treasures of nature and spirit are open to man who will use his mind rightly. Look at there. All the treasures of nature and spirit are open to man. So nothing is denied to us, right? If we use the mind properly, use the body properly, go forward, all of the treasures are ours to experience. All of the different forms of love and all of the different manifestations of divinity are there. Not to mention just the beauty of the divine manifesting in this living, what we started talking about as living scripture that we inhabit. Well, what is the right use of mind? Fear and greed cause the misuse of the mind. The right use of mind is in the service of love, in the service of life, of truth, of beauty. Right? These are the names of the beloved, the names of God. And we've really talked about the purpose of life is quite simple. The purpose of life is not linear in the sense of attaining or achieving or creating necessarily, but that life is a practice of being present in the moment and manifesting. Manifesting what? Manifesting the image of God that is you. That's Satchitananda. And so a life is fulfilling, not based on a narrative, not based on a linear idea of living. That just is terrifying because that line can be very short. It has an unknown end and an unknown beginning. And so it's not a lot of comfort in it. So life is best lived in the moment without the thought of linearity, because this moment is the only guarantee. It's the only thing that's actually present, that's actually here. And so in this moment, all of your destiny is created, right? All of the fruits of your desires are enjoyed in this moment. And so we live in this moment by simply taking the elements that the universe is offering to us in this moment and creating beauty with it, creating any of these things, creating love, creating life, creating truth, emanating beauty. This is our goal. This is our job. This is our only job in life. None of us ever became engineers. Well, delusions put weird titles like that on us. But this is what we are. We are servers of love, of life, of truth, and of beauty. That's your job description as a human being. Right there. That's your responsibility today. Go out and manifest life, love, beauty, and truth with the scraps of the moment, whatever that might be. That could be just going up and complimenting a stranger or being kind somewhere today. Questioner, well, that's easier said than done. He's such a pessimist. He just gets such a beautiful answer. He's like, yeah, that's easier said than done. Love of truth, of man, goodwill, what luxury. We need plenty of it to set the world right, but who will provide? Oh my goodness, who will provide indeed? Maybe the one who's pointing out all the error. Maharaj, you can spend an eternity looking elsewhere for truth and love, for intelligence and goodwill, imploring God and man, all of it in vain. You must begin in yourself, with yourself. This is the inexorable law. Inexorable law. You cannot change the image without changing the face. First, realize that your world is only a reflection of yourself, and stop finding fault with the reflection. Attend to yourself. Set yourself right, mentally and emotionally. The physical will follow automatically. You talk so much of reforms, economic, social, political. Leave alone the reforms and mind the reformer. What kind of world can a man create who is stupid, greedy, and heartless? Need a wake-up pill? What are you going to do for the world, you greedy, heartless, and selfish thing? By what? By reducing that, by paying attention to the reformer, not the reforming. Paying attention to this right here. This is what changes the world. Seeing what's wrong with the world doesn't change it. We're getting a big dose of that this electoral season. Seeing the problems is not the answer. Coming up with solutions is the answer. And for us, all of our questions of God are questions for ourselves. We've talked about that too, right? All these things we like to ask God. Why do you let everybody go hungry? Why are you letting so much suffering in the world? And God's like looking at us like, what are you talking about? Why are you letting everybody go hungry? Why are you causing so much suffering in this world? It's not a nameless something out there. It's you. It's me. This world is as we would have it. Right? We can't shove it off on God and say, fix it, or get mad at God. Oh, there is no God. How could he allow such things? Well, the question remains for you. Why did you and why are you allowing it? What did you do yesterday to feed the hungry, to alleviate the suffering of the poor? What did you do about it? This is our question. There is no one else to do this. It's not the job of government. It's not the job of society. It's our job to emulate God. And if we don't think God would allow this, then we must know that our service to God cannot allow this. So it's our responsibility, and it's up to us to shine. And we're up to it. It's possible. It can be done and will be done. This is the divine promise. This is the nature. living in the presence of God, everything will ultimately be changed. Questioner, if we have to wait for change of heart, we shall have to wait indefinitely. Yours is a counsel of perfection, which is also a counsel of despair. When all are perfect, the world will be perfect. What useless truism? Maharaj, well, I didn't say that. Yes, go off and fight your own battles with your own words if you need to, but don't blame them on me. I did not say that. I only said you cannot change the world before changing yourself. I did not say before changing everybody. It is neither necessary nor possible to change others. But if you can change yourself, you will find that no other change is needed. To change the picture, you merely change the film. You do not attack the cinema screen. Right? So it's us. It's our behavior that we can modify. And we've talked about this. It's one of those things that's easy to prove for yourself, that the whole world changes when you change. It's not hard to demonstrate. Go out and be decidedly different today. Go out and decide you're going to say hello to every single person that you pass today, right? And then experience that day. And tomorrow, tell me, did the world change? Yes, your world changed. Keep doing that. Is your world going to be permanently changed? Yes, you're going to be known as the most friendly guy in the block, and everybody's going to say hello to you every time they meet you, right? So yes, the world will change when you change, because people change when you change. I noticed that the only little story that I know that I did, and the reason I can say it's easy to see and prove to yourself, is that like I told you, when I first moved to LA, I felt like the whole city was very standoffish and very unfriendly. I learned that that's because that's what I was, because I was judging LA from that Northern California, San Francisco elite perspective. And when I got down there and started changing that perspective, started looking for Thakur's presence in people's eyes on my walk, and talking to Thakur when I talked to people in my day-to-day passings, like the cashiers and whatnot, I turned my talking to them into talking to Thakur. And I practiced that for a week before I noticed a distinct difference in the way LA was treating me, in the way that LA was. And so you see, your world changes when you change, not when everybody else changes. And so if you need more love in your world, start noticing more love. Start emanating more love, manifesting more love, right? That bumper sticker, random acts of kindness, senseless acts of beauty. That's the one to vote for right there. Random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty today. Just give something to the world today, right? Make that a new thing. Make every day you're going to give something to the world, like you're going to make some little tiny clay sculpture and stick it at the foot of a light pole somewhere. I love those, what do they call it, guerrilla acts of art. San Francisco used to have a lot of those. You know, you would find just little statues, little gems, little whatnots that artists had created that they just epoxied to the electrical box or epoxy to the sidewalk at the bus stop. All these little things. You know, you can become that. You can become the guerrilla beauty creator of Portland. Anywhere, you know, make your life exciting. Do things unexpected out there, you know. Keith Haring, that's how he got famous, you know, that great artist, that modern artist in New York City. He got famous just painting painting in public, you know, his signature designs, and just giving, you know, that's the difference between graffiti and public art. You know, you create something beautiful and then you leave it. You let it be painted over, you let it be destroyed, you let it whatever. You just do beautiful things. That's who you are and what you are. And that's how we live in this world. That's how we enjoy life. That's the kind of life that's enjoyable. A life where beauty is being created, love is being honored, truth is being emulated. That's a fulfilling life. And it's very simple. It requires nothing but the moment and you. And fortunately, you'll always have those two things. How can you be so sure of yourself? The questioner asks. How do you know what you say is true? Maharaj, it is not of myself that I am sure. I am sure of you. All you need is to stop searching outside what can be found only within. Set your vision right before you operate. You are suffering from acute misapprehension. Clarify your mind. Purify your heart. Sanctify your life. This is the quickest way to change your world. There it is. There's your 3 points for your refrigerator today. Clarify your mind. Clear your mind. Get rid of the selfishness. Get rid of the perspective, the graphic perspectives, right? So clarify your mind. Purify your heart. Get rid of that selfishness in there. Get rid of that concern of just me and mine. Sanctify your life, right? Look at the way you live. Look at the things you say. Look at the way you act towards other people. Notice the way you carry yourself when you're in public. Notice how you look at people. Become aware. Do you scowl? Do you have a bored, careless look on your face? Are you engaged? Are you concerned about the people around you? Are you moved by the people? Do you even wonder about the people that you're passing? Right? How are you in this world? How are you? Are you doing all right? Suddenly I wanted to ask you all that very carefully. Are you all right? It's all right, It's quite delightful, actually. It's quite wonderful. So allow yourself to be wonderful right now, not after the lecture, not later on today. Be all right now. Know that you're okay, that God's hand is on you, love is on you, grace everywhere around you. It's all right. It's okay to show that and to live that, to dance with that, to be a little weird around that. Mother needs some strangers in the world who love people. So set your vision right before you operate, right? So before you do something, search out the heart. Why am I doing this? Am I doing it for love? That's always the most important question. Am I doing this for love? If you're going to correct somebody at work, or you're going to have a difficult talk with somebody, it's your first question. Why am I correcting this person? Is it egoistic? Do I get a pleasure out of it? Do I look better because of it? Am I doing it because I love them? Right? That's our question. If you find that you're yelling at someone, ask yourself, have I ever been this emphatic about showing them love as I am about showing them anger? Right? So this is what it means by clarifying your mind. Become observant of yourself. See what habits are lurking unrecognized in you and change them. Give yourself a little bit of freedom today, a little bit of freedom to manifest yourself a little bit more truly, more uniquely, more funnily. So many saints and mystics lived and died. They did not change my world. Maharaj, how could they? Your world is not theirs, nor is their world yours. Question, well, surely there is a factual world common to all. Maharaj, the world of things, of energy and matter? Even if there were such a common world of things and forces, it is not the world in which we live. Ours is a world of feelings and ideas, of attractions and repulsions, of scales, of values, of motives and incentives, a mental world altogether. We've talked about this. We live in a world. We live in a mind. We don't live in a world, right? And what we care about in the day is not the physical world. What we care about in the day is our emotional state, our peace of heart inside, our well-being, right? The world we only care about in as much as it affects those things within us. If we're in a good and happy mood and in a happy place, nuclear war doesn't seem like such a problem. But if and when it does become a problem, it only becomes a problem in as much as it could happen to you. So, yes, to understand that, we live in a moment. So we're not on a timeline. We're not in a story. We're in a point. We're in a happening, a manifesting. So we should think differently about life. We are not in a story. This is not a show of cause and effect. That's the delusion. This is an explosion, a continually happening explosion in the moment, right? In this moment, the Big Bang, continually, brand new. And this is the greatest gift of grace, I think, that we can be given, is to know for a fact that this moment is new. It has no relation to the previous moment, that you are utterly free in this moment. You are not predefined. You are not preset. You do not have to do the next movement, right? In this moment, you are new and free. And in this moment, if you could allow that, by what? By letting go of your attachments and aversions, so that you could be free. Your attachments and aversions come from the past. To obey them is to live in the past. So live freely in the moment. Live freely in the future. Live freely in the moment. See things as they are. Let them be the color that they are. And pick them up with the curiosity of picking them up for the first time. Let everything be new. Let nothing be assumed in your moment. This is the way the enlightened live. This is the way the knowers of God live, right? Ever refreshed, ever new, never tired, because everything is always done for the first time. And what a beauty and depth that provides us for life. Ours is a world of feelings and ideas, of attractions and repulsions, of scales of values, of motives and incentives, a mental world altogether. Biologically, we need very little. Our problems are not of a different order. Problems created by desires and fears and wrong ideas can be solved only on the level of the mind. You must conquer your own mind, and for this, you must go beyond it. Right? You have to get out of mind. You have to understand it is not about you. The mind just is. It's arbitrary. It's not even yours. We don't even know what it is, actually. That's the thing. What is your mind? What is it that you're accessing? What does it do for you? What does it mean to go beyond the mind? Well, you've gone beyond body, haven't you? You do not closely follow your digestion, your circulation, your elimination. These have become automatic, right? In the same way, the mind should work automatically without calling for attention. This will not happen unless the mind works faultlessly. We are, most of our time, mind and body conscious, because they constantly call for help. Pain and suffering are only the body and mind screaming for attention. To go beyond the body, you must be healthy. To go beyond the mind, you must have your mind in perfect order. You cannot leave a mess behind and go beyond. The mess will bog you down. Pick up your rubbish seems to be the universal law, and a just law too, right? So leave the campground cleaner than when you found it, even in your mind, right? Try and leave your mind in a better condition than what you were given it. Good luck with leaving your body in a better condition than you found it. But nonetheless, just be a light. That's really all he's saying here. He's not even actually saying be a light. He's saying be the light that you are. That's the thing. Let your light out. That's what we're trying to do. Stop letting egoism make such a tight little nozzle so that you only eke it out in drops to the people who deserve it. There's no need for that. That just causes so much unhappiness all around, mainly your own. So really all of this morning is just know the light that you are. Indulge in that light. Live in that light. Be constantly aware of that light, because that light is love. And to live according to that principle, to that nature, make that your only rule. I live according to love, nothing else, right? And then think of the highest, most beautiful manifestation of love that you can think of. And that is your guiding principle. Do that and go forward. There's nothing else you need to know. There's nothing else even interesting in this universe but that. Love is the only thing that's here. Let go of everything else. Just let it all crumble. You, just love. Just love. Am I permitted to ask you, how did you go beyond the mind? Maharaj, by the grace of my Guru. What shape has his grace taken? He told me what is true. And what did he tell you? He told me that I am the supreme reality. What did you do about it? I trusted him, and I remember it. Is that all? Yes. I remembered him. I remembered what he said. You mean to say that this was enough? What more needs to be done, right? It was quite a lot to remember the Guru and his words. My advice to you is even less difficult than this. Just remember yourself. I am. That's enough to heal your mind. That's enough to take you beyond. Just have some trust. I don't mislead you. Why should I? Do I want anything from you? I wish you well. Such is my nature. Why should I mislead you? Common sense, too, will tell you that to fulfill a desire, you must keep your mind on it. If you want to know your true nature, you must have yourself in mind all the time, until the secret of your being stands revealed. Right? So it's frustratingly simple. Frustratingly simple. The only thing here is love. The only thing worth manifesting is love. To know that you are that is the only requirement for finding it and going beyond it. Just don't forget, in every moment, love is the point, always. Love is the point of this moment. If I'm sitting here, no one else in the room, well, gosh golly, good for me. I get to love me for a moment. I get to bathe in some beautiful thoughts of love, some memories of the divine, some thoughts of Thakur and Mahan Swamiji, Jesus and Buddha and Rama and Krishna and Chaitanya. All these people that have given us such gifts of poetry and teaching and truth and wonder, and then tied it all in a bow of experience by being that for us. And we've remembered them duly for it, right? So now remember yourself duly for it. Know your true nature. You must have yourself in mind all the time, until the secret of your being stands revealed. Questioner, why should self-remembrance bring one to self-realization? Maharaj, because they are but two aspects of the same state. Self-remembrance is in the mind. Self-realization is beyond the mind. The image in the mirror is of the face beyond the mirror. Well, that's a cool statement. The image in the mirror is of the face beyond the mirror. So the image in your mind is the divine beyond the mirror, the divine beyond mind being reflected. Face has nothing to do with the mirror. We have nothing to do with this world. It's a reflection of us, that self which is beyond. There's something in there. We'll have to think about this one today. This is a good statement. The image in the mirror is of the face beyond the mirror. And you get that sense there's something very important there. You just can't figure out which word holds it. It's like something. There's something there. We'll have to bring it out at some point. All right, fair enough. But what is the purpose, right? We're always wanting to put life on a line. What's the point? What's the what's the purpose? Where are we going? When will we get there? Are we finished yet? Are we there yet? Right? Life is a point. Life is never a line. If life is a line for you, you're lying. You're completely distorting the experience of being. You have never experienced a line. You have always experienced a point. Now, this is the only place you've been in life. What's the purpose? Maharaj, to help others. One must be beyond the need of help, right? To help others, one must be beyond the need of help. So absolute unselfishness, an absolute knowledge of self as spirit, right? Spirit is the only place not generating desires in us right now. Everything else within us, the body, the mind, are just sprouting desires like plants, like weeds, all over the place. To help others, one must go beyond the need of help. All I want is to be happy. Maharaj will be happy and make happy. So be happy and make happy, or be happy to make happy. They are one act. Be happy to make happy. That's a nice t-shirt right there. Be happy to make happy. That's all of religion right there. That's the whole thing. Make others happy, then be happy doing it. That's all. Questioner, let others take care of themselves. What a pill this guy is. At this point, he would find out that I wasn't enlightened, because I'd be like, get a hold of yourself. Let others take care of themselves. Maharaj, sir, you are not separate. The happiness you cannot share is spurious. Only the shareable is truly desirable. What a wonderful, wonderful space he lives in. Only the shareable is desirable. You only want that which you can share, which can be given. You don't want that which belongs to you alone. What is that? That's spurious. It's meaningless. There's no point in it. It does not manifest God. It does not bring joy. What you want are the things you can share. That's what you want, because sharing is the point. Expressing that love, including everyone in your oneness. That's the point. Questioner, okay, right, but do I need a guru? What you tell me is simple and convincing. I shall remember it. This does not make you my guru. Maharaj, it is not the worship of a person that is crucial, but the steadiness and depth of your devotion to the task. Okay. People, this was a very good teaching right here. This is very important to remember today. It is not the worship of a person that is crucial, but the steadiness and depth of your devotion to the task, right? And this is that question. It's a question I hate to ask myself because it's condemning every time I ask myself. But at the end of the day, when I look at my day, I'm like, okay, if anybody else was looking at this day, somebody who doesn't know me, if they looked at my day today, what would they say was the most important thing in my life? Would it be obvious that the pursuit of love and light is the one most important thing to me? Is that true from looking at my day? Is my dedication to being like Thakur, to living the life of my ideal, was that obvious today? Would it have been obvious to anybody who wasn't in my mind thinking good thoughts about me? Right? If I got rid of the host of cheerleaders in my mind cheering me on today, was it quite as obvious that I was trying, my best to love God, to love people? So these are the things. This is how we guide our heart. This is how we guard our mind. This is how we find that newness. This is how we learn about grace, actually. And that's the best lesson. That's the purest form of love. It's grace. So yes, it is not the worship of a person that is crucial, but the steadiness and depth of your devotion to the task. Life itself is the supreme guru. Be attentive to its lessons. Be obedient to its commands. When you personalize their source, you have an outer guru. When you take them from life directly, the guru is within. Remember, wonder, ponder, live with it, love it, grow into it, grow with it, make it your own. The word of your guru, outer and inner. Put in all and you will get all. I was doing it. All my time I was giving to my guru and to what he told me. Right? Beautiful. It is not the worship of a person that is crucial, right? Because by doing that, we place it outside of ourselves. And eventually we bring that person within. And once we bring them within, slowly, we realize the oneness. We realize the non-difference. So it's not the worship outside of ourselves that is crucial, but the steadiness, right? That consistency. We are always moving forward, not in fits and starts, not in big heroic acts followed by nothing for months, not by a great meditation followed by 3 days of sleeping in. It's that steady depth to your devotion to the task. Life itself is your supreme guru. Living with awareness is what this is about. You're in the presence of the divine beloved right now. What else can be given to you? What greater thing could you have? You have the only thing necessary already. Life itself is the supreme guru. Be attentive to its lessons and obedient to its commands. Just living your life. Do what is necessary in the moment. Do what's necessary. You'll be fine. Do what's in front of you and do it excellently. Do it with zest. Do it with life. Do it with enthusiasm. Do it for your beloved, right? When you personalize their source, you have an outer guru. But when you take them from life directly, when you become intimate to know and intimate enough to know that this life is a dance and that your divine beloved has you entwined in her arms and that you cannot take a wrong step. Yours is to be a great follower. A great follower in this dance of life is the one who has the biggest ears, the one who listens the closest, right? And always makes the right step. And because they're dancing, there's joy in it. There's wonder and light in it. Remember, right? So constantly keep your awareness on your nature, on the presence. Wonder. wonder, what is this existence? What is this experience of being? What is this mind? What is this heart? What is this universe? Ponder, project truths, think about ideas, think about what you know to be true, and let it drip down into the heart. Let it get deep in your understanding of the way things are. Live with it, right? Take that, live with it, and put it with that. Remember you're living. Remember that you're awake. Remember that you're being right now. Remember your divine infinity, your potential right now, that you have the potential of a Jesus, of a Buddha, of a Rama in you. Live it, be it. Just soak yourself in it, right? So live with it, love it, right? Love it. Think of that old woman who loves her plants, and she's just got this jungle of happy, verdant greenery all around her. Why? Because she loves it, and she talks to the plants, and she waters them, and she cleans their leaves, and she worries about their health, and she gives them bigger pots and fertilize. Live your life with your divine beloved, with that attention, with that attention, always, constantly aware and nurturing and primping that presence and your awareness of it, your enjoyment of it. Fill your life, fill your moment. Why your life? Fill your moment with these things. Love it, grow into it, right? Expand into it, open that heart into it, grow with it, right? In a sense of harmony, a sense of oneness. Grow with it. You're not outside of your life. Make it your own. The word of your guru, outer and inner. Put in all and you will get all. I was doing it. All the time I was giving to my guru and to what he told me. Questioner, I'm a writer by profession. Can you give me some advice for me specifically? Maharaj, well, writing is both a talent and a skill. Grow in talent and develop in skill. Desire what is worth desiring and desire it well. Just like you pick your way in a crowd passing between people, so you find your way between events without missing your general direction. It is easy if you are earnest. There it is again, boy. This earnestness, what a treasure. Get hold of that thing. He keeps popping up between the lines here. Earnestness is the thing. Right? So he says, find your way between events. Just like, if you're trying to get over to get a handful of Doritos at a party. So you've got your eye on the punch table over there. You can see the handle of the punch bowl. It's over there. And so, but you got thousands of people who are trying to find out about the last 10 minutes of your life as you're trying to get through that crowd. You're just like, and you get there, right? You always make it to the punch bowl, right? You always make it to the punch bowl. Why? Because you're single-minded. You're taking care of business as you get there, right? But you go forward and you keep moving toward that punch bowl. And delightful. He's saying life is a party. It's just like that. Get your eyes on the divine and just make your way through the party from one event to the next, just circling through, never ever getting caught up in the event, always keeping your eye on the divine and navigating accordingly, going forward, a steady, constant pressure forward. This is the way. Just like you pick your way in a crowd passing between people, so find your way between events without missing your general direction. It is easy if you're earnest. If you really want the punch bowl, there ain't no problem getting there. You just got to want to get there. Keep it on your mind. Don't get distracted. Questioner, so many times you mention the need of being earnest. Yeah, indeed, he does. So many times you mention the need of being earnest. But we are not men of single will yet. Why hold that up as an attribute? You see, he just did what is one of the most dangerous things for us. We identify ourselves with a fault, with an error. right? And we define ourselves by that. Oh, but I'm a man of noisy mind. I'm not a man of one-pointed thinking. Yes, you are. By nature, you are. You know, by nature, your mind is calm. By nature, you're full of love. By nature, you're infinite and immortal and ever free. Those are your definitions. Those are your non-boundary boundaries right there. Don't ever define yourself by your mistakes. Don't ever define yourself by your shortcomings. They don't belong to you, and it's unbecoming for you to claim them. Let them be. Let them die a quick death, and let them lie. You know, you are beautiful. You're ever free. You are a single-minded thinker. You are earnest. You are full of devotion. You are full of love. If you don't believe it, go inside and look around some more. The nature of God is in you. The divine presence is your heir to it. You're not begging it. Mother's not meeting it out in quarter. I remember, oh my God, I don't know why that memory's there, but I'll share it. I would, my first time to India, remember, I was just a haughty, horrible yuppie growing up in San Francisco, nonetheless, at the time, enjoying everything that I could enjoy. And I go to India, and I'm at Lakshman Jula, which is up farther up in the Himalayas from Rishikesh. And there's a little hill there with the road, with the pathway that goes down sideways, and there's a wall on that path. And there's like 20 sadhus that sit on that path with their little begging bowls there. And so I was a worldly man. I was a little bit concerned about how much it was going to cost me to get down that hill if I had to give to everybody on that hill. So fortunately, they had me in mind because they had a money changer at the top of the hill. So you could go and you could give them your rupee. And instead of having to give rupees to everybody, you can give, what were the annas? I mean, they don't even have them anymore in India. This is the last year they were there, but I went and I got a whole bunch. I got a whole bunch of those little tiny worthless coins, and I went down the hill and was happily, putting these worthless coins into these sadhus. And I look back on that picture. I mean, what a disgusting thing. I had so much money at that time in my life. Like I could have been throwing rupees in those cans, but I was more concerned about getting that aluminum money, the stuff that didn't even make a noise when it hits the paper cup. Anyway, I got a real wake-up call though, because I gave one guy, I put it in his cup, and he picked his cup up and he looked at it and he looked at me and he dumped his cup out right in front of me, just dumped it at my feet and put the cup back down in front of him. And I was like, life is a teacher. Life says what it needs to say, so pay attention. Be careful what ideal are you following. I wasn't following an ideal of love and generosity, was I? No. I wanted to make the sound of giving. I just didn't want to actually give anything. So we have to be careful, right? This is where our earnestness is tested. What are you holding on to? What don't you want to give? What don't you want to let go of? And doggone it, when you find it, go get rid of it immediately. That's the best and funnest thing to do. Find something you're really attached to and go give it away to the meanest person you know. That's the way, dare yourself constantly to step over your boundary of giving love, of caring, of investing in the world and people around you. Always, just like your garden. So many times you mention this need of being earnest, but we are not men of single will. We are congeries of desires and needs, instincts and promptings. They crawl over each other, sometimes one, sometimes another dominating, but never for long. Maharaj, there are no needs, only desires. That's a bombshell. There are no needs. You don't need it. There's only desires. And everything in you that wants you to argue with that is coming directly from your body or your mind. because you know the truth of this. You could let go of the body right now, and you would be not one whit less for it. There are no needs, only desires. Questioner, to eat, to drink, to shelter one's body, to live? Yes, the desire to live is one of the fundamental desires. Everything else depends on it. We live because we must, Maharaj. We live because we crave sensory existence. There's the truth of it, huh? We live because we crave sensory existence. A thing so universal cannot be wrong. Not wrong, of course. In its own place and time, nothing is wrong. But when you are concerned with truth, with reality, you must question everything, your very life. By asserting the necessity of sensory and intellectual experience, you narrow down your inquiry to search for comfort. Oh, that's an interesting statement. By asserting the necessity of sensory and intellectual experience, you narrow down your inquiry to search for comfort. Wow. Boy, that's a hard-hitting truth right there. If you think it's necessary to have experiences and to titillate the senses, and if you think that intellectual experience is the thing to be collected, then really you've narrowed your inquiry down to a search for comfort. If the senses are important, comfort is the most important. Right. Wow. All right, let's stop there for the morning.